A WWE fan favorite event is returning. Mercedes Mone has won a new championship, and a shock heel turn took place on SmackDown. Stay tuned for all the wrestling news. It was announced on last night's SmackDown that the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments will be making their return very, very soon to WWE programming. This is an event that I think everyone kind of adores, right? This is a lot. You've got love for it.
It's a weird one. Like, we've all got a love for King and Queen of the Ring somewhere within us, but at times in the past, people of my age probably will agree, it was like, okay, like, I'm into this. Okay, it doesn't really mean anything anymore.
No.
It's gone. It's back. It doesn't mean anything again. Now, it's back and it kind of means something. It's gone again.
It's gone again, but now it's back again, and it's going to be taking place. Now, this is a change that I'm maybe not too keen on, because instead of it taking place all in one night, which is what I like about King of the Ring, it's a one-night tournament.
One-night tournament, that's the thing.
But it's now going to be spread out over a couple of weeks. Now, after Money in the Bank, which takes place tonight, by the way, we're going to get some fatal four-way first-round matches. Now, it wasn't announced on SmackDown who's going to be in these matches, but it was announced that they're going to take place 2 on Raw, 2 on SmackDown, and then there's going to be a semi-finals on weekly TV, and then the final at Night of Champions at the end of the month. The winner of these tournaments, both King and Queen of the Ring, will get a world title match at SummerSlam. The best option.
Yeah, it's a nice sort of stake to have over the top of it. I am a bit gutted it's not going to be a one-night tournament, but again, you know, the more matches you work in one night, the more you increase the risk of things like injury.
True.
Right now, the company is trying to keep everybody as healthy as possible so they can maximize all the screen time they can with them. I am going to miss the idea of a one-night tournament, though. The idea that somebody has to wrestle multiple times is sort of
fun, right?
It's drama, right?
Yeah, and you're like, can they get through? We know they're a great wrestler, but can they do it 3 times in one night?
Yeah.
Can they get to the finals?
Are they going to get caught out by something? They're just going to slip accidentally, and that's it.
And make a mistake. The other downside that I feel for this one, I prefer when it's singles matches. I've not got too much of an interest in the fatal four-ways starting the tournament.
That's it. It's sort of, it feels like, especially with singles, because then you can look at the bracket, and this is, again, if you're like a nerdy weirdo like we are.
We are nitpicking.
You can look at the brackets and go, but what if this match had happened instead? What would have been through there? How could this have all turned out if these 2 matches were switched? It ain't your daddy's King of the Ring, but it's back, and that's the important thing. And we've got the added stipulation of the matches at SummerSlam, which it adds more stakes to SummerSlam as an event. It sort of makes King and Queen of the Ring mean something beyond just here's a crown and cape.
And it kind of makes the fact that SummerSlam is 2 nights this year, and it's the first one that's 2 nights. You need to have something like a Rumble that allows you to have
sets up 2 main event matches, right?
It sets up that and makes the SummerSlam main event feel as important. People are literally fighting off everyone in a tournament to gain that main event, which does make that feel way, way more important. Now, we said it was Money in the Bank tonight, but it's also Worlds Collide. WWE, AAA coming together for this Worlds Collide Super Show. And the AAA Mega Champion, Vikingo, made his SmackDown debut last night. In fact, his WWE main roster debut, if you don't count WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, it was more like WrestleMania was like a cameo. It was sort of like the curtain getting pulled back, and oh my God, the forbidden curtain has been lifted.
Vikingo, what are you doing here? The old classic. He stopped Chad Gable from getting involved in the tag match that was Andrade and Penta versus American Made. Gable looked to take the mask off of Penta.
Yeah, before he could get the mask off Penta, though, the AAA Mega Champion Vikingo did make the save, brawling with Gable around ringside and then driving him off into the audience.
Yeah.
They're going to face off, of course, for Vikingo's AAA Mega Championship today at Worlds Collide. I am really excited to see this.
Yeah, when it was first announced, I was skeptical. I was thinking this is going to be another WWE show that maybe feels like it's only going to be
WWE wins, lol.
Yes, it was. I felt and was worried it was going to be that. However, I feel like they have positioned the AAA stuff quite well, and they've put over how important and how prestigious it is.
They have the largest stake in the company, right? So they're going to want to make AAA look strong. I think that we're going to see a nice even amount of wins and losses. touch wood. I'm just excited to see the presentation of it. I'm excited to see how it's going to go down. And I'm really excited by the rumor that Mike Tenay could be involved.
Oh man, yeah. Speaking yesterday on the news, that Mike Tenay could be involved
We're
there
just
somewhere.
at the point, big shout out the classic Nitro review. We're just at the point where we're seeing more luchadors permeate Nitro. And they have to keep bringing Mike Tenay in. Initially, he's just like this guy on the end where they're like, we don't know anything about this. Mike, you go. And he's so knowledgeable in Lucha Libre.
The professor.
And he's just somebody who I think he was always really enthused to be calling Mexican wrestling. So,
check that out on the podcast feed and on the Patreon. You can check out the video versions of that. More Worlds Collide news though. There is talk of certain people being involved. Obviously we know who's on the card, but PW Insider has reported that WWE currently has plans for Rey Mysterio to appear at the Worlds Collide show event in some capacity.
He was on the poster, man.
Yeah, he was on the poster, but obviously he's out with an injury at the moment. He's not really involved on programming.
Just hit a meaty West Coast pop.
With a knee injury.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Yeah. Get some stem cells in your Ray and hit a West Coast
put some concrete around his leg. It'll be all right.
Bandage it up properly. Additionally, Savio Vega was spotted in Los Angeles ahead of today's show, where obviously taking place in LA. Also, PW Insider reporting though,
JBL. Yeah, JBL could be reportedly appearing at Worlds Collide. He's currently in Los Angeles. However, a WWE source has reached out to PW Insider and said that he's not planned for the show. So,
however,
but you know, it's JBL. Anywhere he goes with a long duster jacket and a hat, he's just welcome. He's just able to walk backstage. He's able to come in through the crowd, no ticket.
Yeah, he's been cropping up everywhere. He was TNA for a while.
Legit like indie taker, isn't he?
It's strange. So, like, even though WWE sources have said to PW Insider he's not going to be there is a very good chance that he just walks out of the crowd and clotheslines Chad Gable or someone.
Yeah, or
maybe.
Yeah, or maybe Hornswoggle pops up for some reason and there's a bin. You know.
It's an incredible spot, one of the most memorable spots in WrestleMania history. Looking over to AEW side of things just now, Mercedes Moné has won a new championship. She has been a belt collector. She's been collecting all those belts. She's got the TBS title. She's the undisputed Rev Pro British Women's Champion. She's got the Owen belt.
Yeah, she's still Queen of Southside.
Yeah, part of the Rev Pro Undisputed aspect. So she's got all these titles. She's now won the EWA Women's Championship. This is a very surprise appearance, turning up in Vienna in Austria out of nowhere at the European Wrestling Association's Prater Katchen event in Vienna. She wasn't advertised.
No.
Turned up.
Just rocked
won a belt.
She had a match against Mila Schmidt and Lexa Valo for the EWA Women's Championship, which she just went on to win.
Yeah.
Currently holding, as you said, the TBS and the Rev Pro Undisputed Women's Championships. She's going to have a whole case for customs.
Genuinely, she's going to have... The expectation, right? It's not 100%, but the expectation is that she's going to beat Toni Storm at All In for the AEW Women's Championship.
Then what?
Carry all of them. Defend all of them. Become mega champion.
She's beaten everybody already.
She's like the great Muta. She's the great Monet.
Would she just get all the belts and then go, I'm leaving now. I must go now. My planet needs me.
But she is on one hell of a run coming into AEW, immediately winning the TBS championship. She's held that since her debut. And she is positioned very, very strongly. So whoever does beat her will be instantly made. Nice to see her doing independent dates, though.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
You can't fault Mercedes for her passion in professional wrestling. And the fact that she's making these surprise appearances, boosting that independent scene in Austria that you may not have heard of.
Well, there's a bubbling independent scene across all of Europe, like Sweden in Gothenburg. I found out there's Svensk Wrestling, which I'm hopefully going to go to next time I go back. But it's all just popping off over here again. It's starting to feel like the swell before that 2016-ish bubble. So hopefully we're going to see a lot more promotions popping up, and big names like this coming over there to make appearances is only going to draw more eyes to the product. Still can't help but think about the customs issues though. Getting those belts.
How'd you carry them
when we took
through?
the title to Canada, they had to like swab it and everything. They wanted to take the plates off. And we were like, you can't do that.
They want to make sure.
It's like, what if you're hiding something? It's all like screwed in.
Do you think she has to pay for extra hand luggage just because of how heavy the belts are?
Maybe all the titles get a seat to themselves in first class.
It's insane trying to get through customs with normal things, never mind championship belts that she's got to take back from Austria. Now, rounding things off with some more SmackDown news. We did have a bit of a heel heel turn on SmackDown. I love a heel turn. I love a face turn. It's always nice to see how a character changes and develops on
Big fan of the Big Show.
You big fan of the Big Show. Not a big fan of the Big Show. Not a fan of that one.
Well, that's a heel turn right there.
I know, right? Well, former NXT Women's Champion Julia appeared to turn heel on last night's SmackDown as she attacked current Women's United States Champion Zelina Vega. Now, the champion had told Julia earlier in the night that if she wanted the US title, she'd have to take it off of her lifeless body. Julia then stepped up to that challenge. I feel like you shot yourself in the foot there, Zelina.
Yeah.
Following the conclusion of Zelina Vega versus Piper Niven in a street fight type scenario where we finally got to see the Slim Jim tables.
Yes, the Slim Jim tables.
They did it. They've cracked into a Slim Jim off a table. Following the conclusion of that match, though, the Secret Harvest looked to beat down the Women's US Champion. But Julia made the save, so it looked like things were great.
Your friends, you're going to have a spirited little battle for the time. No, she's just leveled her.
She headbutted her right in the face. And then
butted her in the head.
Yeah, then hit her with a Northern Lights bomb and raised the title.
Hoisted the belt, yeah.
I am looking forward to Julia on the main roster. I feel like she's going to take that belt.
Give her the belt.
Very, very soon.
Give her the belt. If it doesn't go back to Chelsea Green, it's got to go to Julia.
Yeah, it's one of the two for me.
Give her the belt.
Now, it is Money in the Bank tonight.
It is.
And there is only 4 matches on the show. I wouldn't object to seeing Julia versus Zelina Vega added to it.
Just throw it on.
Just here you
just
go.
have them at Worlds Collide in the crowd. Have them have a massive Barney, and then have Adam Pearce go, I can't deal with this anymore. You're on the card tonight. And then he throws them on a plane, and they fly straight over.
Sorted.
Yeah.
Easy. I mean, flying straight over, it would be as simple as going around the block.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, if they have a private jet, I'd be impressed there. But reactions for Money in the Bank tonight, youtube.com/Cultaholic/live right here. It is Adam and Andrew. If you've seen the predictions, it's really more like Andrew and Andrew Jr.?
Yeah, I don't know what's quite going on. I think Andrew might have broken Adam
I think he has broken him a little bit, but that'll be on later tonight. Stay tuned throughout the day to cultaholic.com for more wrestling news, and we will see you later on.
Tatty bye.